man that he should proclaim the word of God through music. I invite our department choir to lead us in prayer song. Kindly request the gathering to stand. Kindly be seated. It's a glad welcome we bring to you this morning, filled with the desires, hopes, and dreams we all share. I invite our department head and bursar of our college, Dr. G. Nyanraj, to welcome the gathering.
Yeah.
Very respected president of this inauguration, our dear principal sir, the chief guests for the inauguration, Sri Ablash Mishra, the chief executive officer of NSC Academy, Mumbai, keynote address speaker, Dr. Kenneth from the Southwest Minnesota State University, USA, organizing secretary for this conference, other members of the staff, distinguished delegates, student friends, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor for me to stand before you and welcome you all to this two-day international conference on digital transformation in banking and finance. Science and technology has changed the way we live our lives. It has changed the way businesses do their businesses, and banks and financial services providers are no exception. There's been a lot of change, mostly because at the first instance they wanted to be more efficient, they wanted to be more effective in their business, and they had to adopt new technology. But the more important reason was the customers. Customers had already migrated to a digital platform, a digital world. And when customers live in a digital world, naturally everyone has to follow. And so banks and financial service providers had no other go but to adopt these technologies. And when we say adopting or transforming through technology, we just don't mean modern equipment or software or an application on our mobile phone. It goes much beyond that. These are superficial things or the front end things that we see. Much more important things happen at the back end, where again the customer becomes the focus, where everyone tries to give him a better experience so that he is a much delighted customer or a more satisfied customer. And that is the purpose for which the business exists. Banking or any other business exists only to satisfy the customer, to delight him and to retain him. Because competition is very fierce, as we all know, especially for banks. The line that distinguished banks and non-banking financial companies and other firms, these lines are blurring. You have Amazon, which does half of banking job. You have Google Pay, through which you can do most of your banking work. Google Pay is not a bank, but we are able to do most of the work that we do with the bank. So banks and other these financial service providers have to, or they had no other choice but to transform into a digitally sound organizations. And as people of commerce, if you look into it, it is not just the technology that matters. You have at one end the customer, who is the most important person. We study that in marketing. We have the application of technology, and all these things cannot happen unless you have a leader, a visionary leader who can implement all these things. And these days, for a leader to be visionary is very challenging, because nothing stays as it is. Every day changes happen, and to be able to visualize what will happen in future is the greatest challenge a leader can have. So it involves leadership, that it involves application of technology, it involves taking care of customer, all of which are the core work that we do in commerce course. So as we were planning for a conference, we thought it will be nice if we had a theme like this, which is a current topical one, so that students also will know what is happening, and all the delegates will come to discuss what is happening, and our students will have a peek into the future where they are going to spend the rest of their lives. So with that in mind, we organized this conference, and as we were looking for a person to inaugurate this, we happened to come across Dr. Shri Abhilash Mishra. He was here in our university a few months ago, where a few of our staff and I had to attend a meeting. And when we listened to him, we thought we should invite him to our department for any meeting. And as we were organizing this conference, we approached him through a person, Mr. Krishna Kumar, who is taking care of the activities of the NSC Academy in this part of the country. And Krishna Kumar sir was able to help us to get Sri Abhilash Mishra. I hope he has joined, or at least he will join very soon to deliver the inaugural address. So on behalf of all of you, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Abhilash Mishra, who is here. Thank you very much, sir, for joining. And we also have with us our principal, who is responsible for everything that is happening in this campus. This conference again is possible because of his munificence. Through the Deanery of Academics, he was able to sanction funds for our department to conduct many conferences and workshops. So this is the second conference we are organizing. So we forever remain indebted to you, sir, and we thank you very much for joining us this morning. Thank you and welcome to this conference, sir. We also have our keynote speaker, Dr. Kenneth Chukwaba from the Southwest Minnesota University, USA. We know that he lives across the globe. It's morning here, it's almost more than, so I think it's night already there. Sir, thank you.
Yeah, it's night here. It's night.
Thank you very much for your patient waiting to talk to us, sir. Thank you very much and welcome to this conference, sir. We are very glad that you are able to join us this morning. Thank you, sir. Or this evening, however you put it.
Thank you.
We also have another resource person, Dr. Manuel Fernandez from the Skyland University, Sharjah. He will also join us. I welcome him. I also like to welcome especially the organizing secretary, First of all, I'd like to thank her for taking up this challenge at a very difficult time and for carrying out all the work in a very seamless way. Thank you, madam, and welcome to this conference, the organizing secretary. I should also welcome all our heads and coordinators, right from Samuel to the youngest coordinator, Ms. Ruth Felicia. All of you have done great jobs. All team leaders have done great jobs. Welcome to this conference. Special word of welcome to all the delegates who have joined. We have tried to present to you nice lectures and discussions and time for paper presentation. We have enough time for everything. We are thankful. We are glad that you are able to join with us. So once again, on behalf of the Department of Commerce, I welcome all of you to this two-day conference on digital transformation in banking and finance. And I do hope you will have a very useful time with us today and tomorrow. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. To be able to live each day with honor, respect, and dignity is the greatest achievement of all. We would like to honor our dignitaries. I invite Professor Samuel Devadas, coordinator of BCom Shift 2, to honor our principal, Dr. D. Paul Diabaran.
I invite Dr. Ravi Kumar, coordinator of BCom CA Shift 2, to honor our head Department of Commerce. Thank you, sir. A great leader's courage to fulfill his vision comes from passion and not position. I cordially invite our principal to address the gathering.
Esteemed chief guest of this international conference, Mr. Abhilash Mishra, the Chief Executive Officer of NSE Academy Limited.
Start Chida.
Beloved keynote speaker, Dr. Kenneth from Southwest Minnesota State University from United States of America. Beloved keynote speaker, Dr. Manuel Fernandez from Skyline University College, Sharjah. Beloved Bursar and Head of the Department of Commerce, Dr. Nyan Raj. Dear coordinators of different branches of commerce, dear organizing secretary, Dr. Shiba, my dear colleagues belong to the Department of Commerce and other disciplines, dear participants from different places who are connected virtually, my dear student friends who are seated in the adjacent hall and who are watching the proceedings through online virtually, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening for the other nations. My greetings to all of you. It's a great privilege and joy for me to associate myself with all of you while the Department of Commerce is very thoughtfully organizing this two-day international conference on digital transformation in banking and finance. First of all, I must appreciate and congratulate each and everyone who is instrumental for this event to happen in our campus in blended mode, both offline as well as online. So the very conference is happening because of the development, because of the growth digitally, as rightly mentioned, the welcome address by the head of the department, because it helps, no, the changes, the development of science and technology make everything simple and everything easy in a different dimension. So dear friends, these days we always talk about digital transformation in everything, not only in banking and finance, in everything. Of course, in those days, we're supposed to go to the bank physically for any kind of transactions. Is it okay? Now, It is totally changed now. So the technology made us comfortable, But it requires perfection. So digital transformation requires perfection. If it is not, job is not done completely, then there is a chance for malpractice. Now and then we hear scandal that's happening through online. So though it makes us comfortable for us for the transaction, what will be the transaction, but sometimes we happen to come across certain tragedies, that is scandals in financial area. So dear friends, I am glad that we are back after a pandemic. What we spent 4 semesters through online. Once again, we thank you. We must thank for the digital transformation. Unless we have grown like this, it is not possible for us this good connectivity. Though we've been affected since the end of 2019, and in our nation, we suffered from March 2020, end of 2020. So for the past 2 years, we suffered quite a lot. Still, we have some panics. Even people are threatening us. We may have to face even the next wave, 4th wave. But we had prepared. But somehow, we must thank God that we've been connected digitally. So we are happy to have amidst us an illustrious academician from US, and we are happy to have another academician from maybe northern part of our nation. So we're all connected here in one roof. So it's very really fortunate. So dear friends, I'm glad that you're doing a lot of avenues, lot of opportunities for the student friends who are doing different programs in commerce, both undergraduate as well as masters in research. I'm sure these 2 days will be memorable for all of you. I already thought that we have as many registrations, and there are going to be presentation also today and tomorrow in different sessions. Definitely this will be very useful for all the student friends. So these days, even the UGC, University Grants Commission of India, have allowed the top institutions to start online degree programs. So we are preparing for that. It makes us comfortable. It's almost it's compatible with physical presence. Is it okay? Especially when we organize conferences. Can you believe it's very difficult to organize international conference, isn't it? We have to rope in many of the illustrious academicians around the globe to come to our place, and they have to fly, and they have to meet, and they have to come across a lot of hurdles. It takes long time. We used to plan a lot of planning meetings before the execution of any national event or international event. Now it is quite simple. From home they can make it. Perhaps in US it may be today is Wednesday, so it may be Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, maybe 9 hours. In US we have 4 timings, three timings. Instead of 9 hours difference, 12 hours difference. So, but we are linked because of this connectivity, online connectivity. So we must encourage students to get accustomed with regard to this kind of environment. So I'm glad that digital transformation especially made banking and finance operations much easier when we compare to the earlier one. I'm sure you also involve. These days, there is no difference between finance person or science persons or technological persons. All are interlinked. We talk about interdiscipline, we talk about cross-discipline. So science and technology had a greater impact in all operations, including medical field. So therefore, it also involved very much, it transformed quite a lot in healthcare also. These days, doctor's consulting room, there is no question of finding a paper. Normally they used to prescribe medicines. Even that is done through online. Is it okay? They simply send it to the pharmacy. Is it okay? Patients can go, and they can, when they say that the number, key number, they will be able to get it. So everything is done. So in those days, patients will go in the morning, and they get the scanning done, everything done, and they have to go in the afternoon, they have to meet the doctor. Now it's not at all necessary. Is it okay? Simply, let us say the doctors can go through those, and they can prescribe medicines, and they can send it to the pharmacy. So after some time, his friend or her friend can go to the pharmacy and they can get the medicines. That is simply changed. Is it okay? So big corporate hospitals, is it okay? Any doctor can see any report. They authorize, isn't it? A surgeon can see the prescription given by the general medicine doctor. So it is interlinked now. Is it okay? So they have the authorization and they make it. So dear friends, now this transformation made us quite comfortable in almost in all disciplines, not only in academics. Of course, it has a greater impact in academics. Some time back, in our campus, we inaugurated National Digital Library of India. Is it okay? Club, NDLI Club. So they have got lots of journals, volumes, we have a lot of volumes of journals, textbooks, etc. Is it okay? So when the students register and they get authorization, is it okay? In a cheaper price, maybe they will be able to access plenty of journals. So it's a national effort, isn't it? So on the other day, our librarian thoughtfully linked our college with that one, and we are enjoying that facility. So therefore, now these days, people are not going to library. Is it okay? Of course, and maybe it may be good for the older people. The retirement, they can go to general library or they can go to our library and they can spend a lot of time physically present, and they can get books of their choice and they can read. But when you do some programs like this, when you study, when you are busy with other work, is it okay? Your leisure time, you can't always take physical books to read out. Is it okay? Normally, voracious readers may know. So, dear friends, at this juncture, without wasting much time, I once again appreciate and congratulate the organizers, the head of the Department of Commerce, Dr. Nyan Raj, the organizing secretary, Dr. Shiba, and others, the coordinators of different branches of commerce, and each and everyone who is instrumental for this to happen in our campus in a blended mode, both physically as well as online. I'm sure the eminent academicians, the financial specialists will have that view, and they will inspire you, and they will bring forth a lot of ideas which our student friends can apply. And of course, we are going to introduce one more BCom program with the help of NAC Academy. It will happen next year. I must thank the National Stock Exchange Academy for coming forward to have a coordination with our college for the introduction of one more undergraduate program. Probably that will happen the next academic year. Thank you so much for everything. All the best. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. A cordial welcome to Mr. Abhilash Mishra, who has joined us online. Sir, we welcome you.
I invite Dr. B. Hannah, coordinator of BCom International Accounting, to briefly introduce the chief guest for the inaugural of the conference.
Morning greetings to one and all gathered online and offline. I'm delighted to be assigned the task of introducing a person of high administrative profile, Mr. Abhilash Mishra. Mr. Mishra holds an MBA from the University of Chicago, Booth School of Business, and is a Marshall Goldsmith certified executive coach. He has 25+ years of extensive operating, sales, and marketing exposure at AXA Investment Managers, Standard Chartered Bank, ICICI Bank, and Aditya Birla Group. He is an award-winning banking and financial services business leader. He is an expert in running joint venture alliances. He was the Director Global Outreach and Executive Education for India, Middle East, and South Asian regions at University of Chicago, Booth School of Business. At present, he is the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of NSE Academy Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of National Stock Exchange of India. We are elated to have such a person of high caliber and proficiency in the field of banking and finance to inaugurate the two-day International Conference on Banking and Finance. Once again, I welcome you, sir, and hand over the session to Mr. Mishra. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hannah. It is indeed a pleasure to be part of the proceedings today, and thank you so much for inviting me to this conference. I would congratulate Department of Commerce, Bishop Heber College on this wonderful initiative for next 2 days, and I also welcome all the participants, delegates, faculty and staff of the college and other institutions. First of all, my sincere thanks and gratitude to Dr. G. Gnanaraj, Dr. D. Paul Thabaran, and Dr. B. Hannah, our colleagues at NSE Academy and the staff and students at the college for inviting me. I will keep it short, and if I can share some of the experience that I've had, and probably we all experience digital banking as part of our daily lives. For all of you who are born in late 90s or early 2000s, wouldn't recollect how the first digitization era in the banking system in the country started. I recall the very first time the first ATM was set up when I was in school and college way back, and from there how the world has progressed today, that my 82-year-old father doesn't even have to step out of his home, and he conducts all his financial transactions online through the app of the banks. We have come a long way. The internet of things have played a large role, and also the consumers of 4 to 6 years. It is expected, it was around $8.2 billion in 2021, and it is expected to reach up to close to $14 billion in 2026, which is approximately 1.5% kind of compounded annual growth rate. Now, why is this possible, and what does digital transformation or digitization in the banking and financial services mean? On a broader spectrum, any digital transformation will be clubbed into two parts. One will be upgradation of existing processes, infrastructure, and the other would be business using digital technology. For that matter. So I think enhancing the customer experience is at the back end of each of these digital transformations that has happened and is happening continuously. What does it mean actually? What are the ways it can happen? So simply, online banking processes or applications. So we used to go to a bank. I'm sure some of our senior colleagues also who are a part of this proceeding today have visited banks to conduct operations. But young students, kids of my kids and my family have not seen a bank branch still, because they operate through the app or through fintech applications. Simply, digitization of online processes is a part of digital transformation. Going more robust in terms of fraud detection, prevention of economic offenses, detection and prevention of financial crimes. These are also an important part of a digital transformation in banking or financial services industry. NSE Academy is part of the National Stock Exchange, which is a frontline regulator which directly works under SEBI. And for us also in our digital processes for capital markets, because we are an exchange platform, we facilitate transactions between buyers and sellers. We also are a liquidity provider because we also have a clearing corporation. So topics like fraud detection, surveillance is an important part of any banking or financial services entity, including ours. The introduction of virtual assistants or bots. If you open a banking app today and you were just logging in, you would see a bot or a virtual assistant talking to you. How may I help? This is one way using artificial intelligence to ensure that the conversation which you're having with a call service agent or a bank teller when you're visiting a branch can be done on commonly used topics through a simple AI assisted digital assistant or a bot. Improving enhancement of websites for easy navigation, for checkout, for customer experience. This is also part of a digital transformation, and every day new ways to engage customers and make the user experience, the user design, the experience, the interface on a website also can be a part of a digital transformation in a consumer-facing industry like banking and financial services. Digital marketing, digital campaigns, branding, communication between the bank or the financial institutions to its customers, to stakeholders, also part of what a digital transformation journey may look like broadly. Data privacy, cybersecurity, data mining to understand customers' requirements, segmentation of customers, all using technology could be another aspect of it. And of course, KYC and other regulatory aspects that can be safeguarded or ensured that they meet the regulatory requirements also can be enabled and are an important part of the online banking digitization. For a salesperson, for a relationship manager, in addition, understanding the customer, their past transactions, understanding their behavior, understanding their risk abilities, all these form a part of either a mutual fund, insurance, or a bank, or a broadly financial services company that exists today. The digital transformation, I think, was already started a few years back. Since the turn of the century, early 2000, and their efforts were being made to involve technology and internet in banking systems. And the pandemic, I think, has, we all can, see last 2 years, pandemic had actually grown it exponentially. The need for, staying at home, working from home, not being able to walk to a branch to conduct transactions has helped all customers to experience the same level of customer service standards from bank and financial institutions because the technology has enabled. I personally can share my experience that the bank RM I used to call continuously interacted with me through WhatsApp, the WhatsApp communication system, and which is part of the digital process the bank adopted so as to ensure that my simple transaction of questions could be answered by the RM, but she was also working from home at that point in time. And do it yourself customers have increased. Like we don't walk into a broker's office today, but conduct what you call stock market trading operations through our banking apps or trading apps. We conduct virtual banking. In fact, last 2 years has shown the path that this could be exponentially grown if we have the right technology and the mindset to adopt it. I think a bigger aspect also has come into picture is personalization and value-added products and services that digital transformation adds to a customer experience. Today, the bank and the financial institution that we transact with knows a lot of granular information about our risk behavior, our personal preferences. Am I an investor who invests in fixed deposit? Am I an investor who will invest in equities or bonds or mutual funds, insurance, planning? They are able to personalize products for me. They look at our credit card spends and they can suggest what kind of discounts they want to offer, what kind of benefits they can give us in terms of the credit card transactions that we do. All this is being enabled, and I think it has grown rapidly in last 2 years. Then, of course, the time and manpower requirement in traditional banking is large because you have branch, which involves staffing, which involves a lot of other facilities and infrastructure. If you go branchless banking, you don't need to have a lot of manpower on the ground. Digital technologies and adoption of futuristic technologies can enable virtual banking from anywhere. And then, of course, the engaging customer experience, which I mentioned, is an integral part of it. So what are the key technologies banks and financial institutions use? Of course, the mobile apps are the best example of digital transformation, which has changed fintech apps and mobile apps that we use in banking or trading or even insurance and other aspects of our life. Then cloud and API integrations, which seamlessly integrates a lot of service providers bringing in information. If you have a wallet in your mobile, it is able to read your messages that come when you do banking transactions and add on to the app. And this is only possible because the data is on cloud, and API integration happen not only between the fintech app that you have or the wallet that you have, but with your bank, and also with the service provider, which is processing the mobile service provider, which is processing your SMS. So it's able to integrate, and you're able to have a good seamless experience. Artificial intelligence, machine learning have played a larger role in every field of life, and banking and financial services are no exception. Big analytics, reading the newspaper, that regulatory organizations have access to expertise, which is only possible to look at large pools of data and look at where the issues can happen. The other aspect is security and biometrics, helping secure transactions that we do online or remotely, ensuring that the customer identity is preserved and frauds don't happen. Things like anti-money laundering, audit, risk management. These are all possible. And key banking technologies are used in these aspects. And of course, blockchain and IoT, which is ensuring that the transaction streams, the transaction threads are verified and they are non-negotiable in terms of standards and security. I think the top three, if I can summarize the conversation today, the top three levers for digital transformation is customer experience and customer demand. Customers look at better, faster, and cheaper service, and they should be getting it. And hence, digital transformation helps ensure that the customers are happy. Data is everywhere. It's a data-driven world now. I think that's the biggest driver, that if the services are becoming faster, cheaper, and efficient because of use of data. And I think third is the era of modernization, the branchless banking, virtual banking, and using future and deep technologies in terms of infrastructure for the future. In the end, I think the benefit for are all available in front of us. Technology and transformation helps us build trust. Customer engagement is higher. Customer acquisition costs are lower. Customer acquisition is faster. There's personalization of products and services, helping customers retain with the system. And the lifetime value of a customer in a banking or financial services organization increases. And of course, it prepares the organization for agility, for innovation, and meeting future demands as an organization. And this can be achieved simply by the leadership in the organization, which currently is working in a VUCA world, which is the term for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And every leadership in the banking and financial services industry is grappling with it. I think the adoption of digital mindset in the banking teams, the financial institutions, across top to bottom, is very, very important. Training of staff, bringing these solutions to customers, taking their feedback are important parts of it, and willingness to invest in future and deep technologies, which can ensure that the future opportunities are better and larger for the entire stakeholder system in the ecosystem. I think that's what I had to share with you today. I hope it has been useful. But as I mentioned in the initial part of the discussion today, the growth is exponential. Opportunities are large. There's a large community of unbanked, underinsured, under-advised customers in the country. On the retail side, individual side, a large pool of MSMEs, and the corporate sector, which has to have access to easy credit, and aspects of supply chain, new products, employees, technology. All these are being enabled by the banking and financial services system, and technology is an integral layer, not only in the banking and financial services, but even for our personal life in the future. I think we are living in very interesting and amazing times. Last 2 years have shown us where the world could change. Some of the geopolitical events today are giving us new learnings and new ways to look at the world. I hope we are all able to stay safe and healthy and ensure that our purpose is met. And I'm very happy that this initiative today by Bishop Heber College has been taken, and I congratulate the staff and the leadership at the college for taking this initiative. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I wish all the delegates and participants a wonderful 2 days of learning and journey. Thank you so much.
Transformation in banking and finance. I invite Dr. Fenella Agnes, Coordinator of BCom CA, Shift 1, to propose the vote of thanks.
My heart fills with lots of gratitude and respect for our distinguished speaker, Mr. Abhilash Mishra, Chief Executive Officer, NSE Academy Limited, India. And I also thank wholeheartedly our principal for sparing his invaluable time to grace this occasion and to deliver the presidential address. Thank you, sir. I also thank our head and bursar, Dr. Nyanraj, the torchbearer of this conference, and also for attesting to the importance of the topic through his welcome address. Thank you, sir. Next, my thanks goes to Dr. Sheba, the organizing secretary, for pulling everything and everyone together on such short notice to make the inaugural function a grand success. I thank the staff members and non-teaching staff who have been working really hard and carrying out all the allotted duties very intelligently. I also thank the staff and students from various other colleges and who joined in offline and online mode. Without your kind presence, we could not have accomplished what we had dreamt for. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
We will now move in to the keynote sessions. I invite Dr. Fenella Agnes, Coordinator of BCom CA Shift 1, to introduce the keynote speaker for the first session.
Good morning to everyone. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today, Dr. Kenneth U. Chikuba. We are proud, sir, to have you today amidst us. Dr. Kenneth U. Chikuba, who has been with Southwest Minnesota State University since 2016, where he serves as interim MBA director and associate professor in the Business, Innovation, and Strategy Department. He received his PhD in management with a concentration in leadership and organizational change from Walden University in Minnesota. He did his MBA from Webster University, Missouri, and BSc from Columbia College. Dr. Chikuba also completed coursework in disruptive strategy at Harvard Business School and interculturally speaking from Oxford University. His areas of specialization are strategic management, leadership and organizational change, management, international business, and international management. He serves on the advisory board for Distributive Education College of America as a board member. Dr. Chikuba belongs to the following academic and professional organizations and serves as a reviewer: Academy of Management, Midwest Academy of Management, the Southern Management Association, and Society for Advancement of Management, and editorial board member of the Strategic Journal of Business and Change Management. We welcome you, sir, to deliver your keynote address. I wish all of you to have a wonderful and enriching academic session. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. So it's 11:44 p.m. here in the night. So I hope I will not be sleeping. Thank you so much for this inviting me to be part of this international conference on digital transformation in banking and industry and finance. So before I start my topic, I would like to ask a question, a little question for everybody here sitting here. So who controls the world? This is outside my topic. Who controls the world? Who can answer that question for me? Do you hear what I said? Can you guys hear me? Who controls the world? Anyone? Okay. The answer, I'll give you the answer. So when you look at India controls the world, because if you look at Google, who's in charge of Google? That's an Indian. You look at Microsoft, all the big Fortune 500 companies are controlled, managed by Indians. So that means the India controls the world. So that's the answer. So my topics today is on the role of data in decision-making, why quality data matters. Okay, I will be speaking on three things. One is quality dimension of data, verify the quality of data, and misleading data. That's what I'm going to be speaking on. So scholars wrote that there should be enough evidence to demonstrate that data collected from the internet has been systematically well documented and reasonably represented in the target population. It must be accurately captured, represent the demographic discourse, that accuracy alone does not give a holistic view of the quality data. However, even though it may not be required, other data dimensions related to the context, situation, and the mission must be taken into consideration as the present attribute to which, when analyzed, would represent a thorough picture. So why do we verify quality data? How often have you bothered about the data quality? Some researchers and industry professionals assume their data is quality without checking for dimensions or without proper scrutinizing the data. Subsequently, poor decision or judgment are made. Data that is inadequate, inaccurate, or does not meet the relevant dimensions can lead to a wrong decision and failure in achieving any desired goals. For example, in recent times, we often find many retail grocery stores will ask for phone numbers and the zip codes at the checkpoint. Usually in America here, we have, you ask you zip codes and phone numbers. In most cases, the internet is to collect data and make decisions about what people are buying, so as they will ensure that they cater to the needs of their customers. Also, when the quality of available information is high, the leaders and managers tend to make superior decisions. On the other hand, when the amount of information is low, there is a high risk of making poor decisions. That's why verifying data means a lot. The more information you have, the superior information you have, you can be able to make an informed decision. How about misleading data? Misleading data can lead to disingenuous conclusion. It will help impede scientific progress or lead to erroneous actions that could eventually harm a company in so many ways, such as increase in the cost of operations or damage the reputation of the researcher. According to over 2021, and Briggs, who was the Trump White House coronavirus response coordinator, he revealed that the president had been issued alternate parallel data set by another person unknown to her on the pandemic, which created some degree of doubts and confusion decision-making. So in decision-making that were made, apparently were based on the analyzing alternate data set, which did not represent the true picture of the situation. And that was why they have a lot of information given to the public. In conclusion, I would like to say that data devoid of quality can be very misleading. It serves no purpose and has potential to spell disaster. It therefore calls for ensuring that quality form of the focus in the data we collect to analyze and make decisions. Many businesses, organizations have failed many times and have been far from attending their long and short-term goals because of the data are not quality type. Some leaders, including politicians, have made disappointment because of data tend to misinform them. In this 21st century, the competitive landscape, the right decision should be made when you have a quality data. So the more risky, the less information, and less risky. So I'd like to end this, that when you have a quality data, you'll be able to make an informed decision. Thank you all. And thank you for the opportunity to be part of you this time. And I'm looking forward. If you guys invite me again, I'll be glad to participate. Thank you so much. And God bless you all for listening.
Thank you, sir. We are delighted to have you joining us for the conference. Thank you for sharing your insights about the digital transformation in banking and finance.
Thank you. Do anybody have questions for me?
Participants who are attending online, if you have any questions, you can jot down your questions in the chat.
I will also give my email in case if they need to reach me.
Charlotte Christina has a question. Sir, she has jotted down in the chat.
Okay, I have not seen it. Yes, okay, I got a question here. because the question is, what do you think is the impact of COVID on the world stock? Because of COVID, COVID has changed a lot of things, the way we do things these days. Starting from 2019, when we heard about the COVID, everybody, particularly in the academia, we changed the way we do business, particularly in the school, in other industries. So because of COVID, a lot of things have changed. Like right now, you see that it has increased a lot of things has been increased when it comes to price. Looking at what is going on in the United States, it's also affected the stock change in the United States, particularly here in the United States. A lot of companies are going under because of COVID. They have been not, working the way they have been working. A lot of people are working remotely, and that affects customers as well because people are staying home. Thank you. How's the banking system in the portal? Okay. COVID. Yeah, because of COVID, here in America, the banking industry here has changed, the way they work. Usually here we open from Monday till Saturday. Because of COVID, they work limited hours. They are not opening in person. Everything is done through the window or through online. So I think that's the good thing about COVID, being able for us to go online and do business. Nobody's going to the bank again. You just have to walk through your computer or your smartphone to do your transactions.
Sir, very.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm Charlotte Christina. Very nice hearing from you, sir. And thank you, organizers, for unmuting, because we would really like to interact with the speaker. So thank you for unmuting. Sir, I just wanted to ask you about COVID, and what do you think is the major impacts? On whom is the major impact?
The major impact of COVID, it depends on the industry. Some industry they gain a lot of the impact of COVID because it helps them to change the way they do business. Let's look at the grocery stores here in America. People that don't go to the grocery stores again. What they do, they make their purchases online, and the grocery stores will deliver to them, or they can pick up. They have a stand where you can go. You park here, you press the button. The people inside will bring your groceries for you. So COVID is although it's a bad thing to people that are affected by it, like medically, but when you look at the business aspect of it, a lot of companies made some money doing that, particularly the online companies like Amazon, Alibaba, and the Walmart, which is one of the greatest online grocery stores here in America. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we can say it's the survival of the fittest. So in any,
Yep.
those who can adapt to the thing, I think they will survive.
Exactly. That's what it is. You have to survive. If you look at the education in academia, you see the same thing. Before, we always think about teaching on person, but now, particularly in my school, now we teach what we call flex, high flex. High flex means you meet one week in person, second week on Zoom and online. So that's what we call the high flex. We have that delivery method. Then we also have what we call hybrid. Hybrid, you meet online, you meet in person for some time, and then take the rest of your class on Zoom. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Since the beginning of this semester, I've been teaching in person. Now for the last coming 6 weeks, I'm gonna be transferring it to everything on Zoom. So digital it's good to have access to digital. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I think that's all I have. Thank you, everyone, for letting me use this opportunity to speak to you. And I'll be hanging around to hear from other people from their participation. Thank you so much, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Now we'll break for a short tea break and we'll get back after 15 minutes. We'll start the second keynote section by 10:45.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, we will start in another 5 minutes.
Right, take your own time.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Sir, can we proceed with the session, sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, can you kindly turn on your video? Thank you, sir.
And welcome back.
I invite Dr. S. Deepa, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, to introduce the keynote speaker for the second session. Please, ma'am.
Respected Principal, Head of the Department, Respected Principal, Head of the Department, Chief Guest of this session, faculty, friends and students. Good morning to one and all who have blended both online and offline. It gives me immense pleasure in introducing the chief guest of this session, Dr. Manuel Fernandez. Dr. Manuel Fernandez holds a master's in commerce and philosophy with a specialization in financial management. He has completed his doctorate from the University of Kerala. Also, he holds many professional certificates like CMA and certified in strategy and competitive analysis from the Institute of Management Accountant, USA. He has more than 3 decades of experience in teaching, research, and academic administrative. He has published many research papers in reputed international journals, and also he has presented several research papers in international conferences and global forums. We are enlightened to have such a high caliber personnel with us for this conference. Once again, on behalf of our principal, head, faculty, and students, I welcome you, sir.
Good morning.
Over to you, sir. You can begin with your session.
Good morning to all. The respected principal, the dignitaries, the participants, the faculty, and the students. First of all, let me wish you all success for this international conference on digital transformation in banking and finance. So now let me go into a small brief of digitalization in banking and finance. Would I be able to share my screen?
Yes, sir.
Can you see the screen? Video sharing. Can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So digitalization of banking service can be traced back to the advent of ATM, your automated teller machine, and payment cards from 1960s. As the internet emerged in 1980s, banks began offering internet-based services. In the past 2 decades, the mobile phone revolution has unleashed in the past 2 decades, the mobile phone revolution has unleashed new breed of financial technology providers, disrupting the banking industry using mobile app-based technologies. The arrival of new banking solution based on mobile apps and the potential of non-banking players, such as financial technology companies that we call fintechs, competing for financial service business, made it imperative on traditional banks to quickly opt for digital transformation. So digitalization is arguably the largest catalyst of transformation the banking industry has never encountered. As banks compete to remain profitable against a host of sophisticated financial institutions, they have been prioritizing technology implementation to improve the bottom line. Technology in recent years has transformed how banks serve their customers, from online banking to digital branches. Both the customers and the banks are benefiting from the digital banking revolution. By digitalizing the process, banks are witnessing increased productivity, enhanced profitability, reduced cost, and seamless banking operations. According to McKinsey, the operational areas are highly correlated with profitability when digitalized product back office automation, digitalization of document management, and automation of credit decision, and big data analytics apply to sales campaign. Therefore, technology implementation and acquisition has been given a significant portion of banking agenda and budget. According to McKinsey, the global banking sector spends approximately 5 to 10% of operating income on IT process and machinery. Subsequently, these institutions have reaped large return on their investments, which reinforces the correlation between introducing technology advancements to banking process and enhancement of financial performance. Banks can create new value propositions for their clients that are either banking or non-banking adjacent. Banks that are quick to adopt to an open banking strategy and integrate third-party services within their offerings will ultimately be well placed to secure a sustainable flow of revenues in the future. Accelerated digitalization for enhanced services. Similarly, providing integrated services along with non-banking entities can result in an increased engagement, a rise in the consumer base, and ultimately growth in profits. Most banks and other financial institutions are keen to further accelerate digitalization by getting more and more embedded within the customer's decision-making process. They want to think much beyond traditional banking and help customers plan, manage and grow their money in a way that it works best for them. So when customers walk into the bank, they nowadays, especially the younger generation, do not expect the traditional banking. They want something beyond that. They want the bankers to participate in the decision-making process. So going forward, the bank's digital strategy will be focused on harnessing the power of data and advanced analytics to empower its customers in making the right financial decision. By doing so, banks will be able to create relevant and hyper-personalized offerings and customer experience. Although these are costly, prioritizing the digitalization of banking process is likely to serve as an effective measure towards efficient expenditure within all sectors of bank operations, and is being adopted by many institutions around the globe. A study carried out by McKinsey suggests that a bank with a balance sheet of $250 million could capture as much as $230 million in annual profits, of which, out of this $230 million, 50% is derived from cost efficiencies. So digitalization, though it sounds to be expensive, this is the result of the study. A bank with a balance sheet of $250 billion US dollars would be able to capture a profit of $230 million annually, out of which 50% comes from cost efficiencies. And digitalization will be able to better use the human resources. Automation of standard back office operations can allow banks to achieve large operational cost savings and enable them to place human capital on more strategic functions. Moreover, difficult tasks that are rooted in non-structured data system can be automated using artificial intelligence and will save on the costly and lengthy execution of this task required. Efficient cost-cutting strategies are on the rise. Banks are looking at more sophisticated ways in which cost can be managed using robotics, analytics, and fintech. Advancement in fintech allows banks to retain their current customer base and access a larger audience. Access a larger audience, especially those who are unbanked. Accenture, an Ireland-based multinational professional service company that specializes in information technology services and consulting, estimates that providing unbanked adults and business access to formal banking sector could generate about 380 billion in new revenues for banks. Thus, implementing the strategic actions that enhance financial inclusion via digitalization is directly correlated with higher profitability and financial performance. And of course, digitalization helps in handling risk. Technological advancements in risk reporting and analysis contribute to the consolidation of data and enables a seamless pathway to extracting information from various sectors of the organization. Big data, machine learning, crowdsourcing serve as efficient tools when considering faster and cheaper approaches to efficiently mitigate risk. Specific functions that will greatly benefit from these advancements include credit risk decision-making, portfolio monitoring, detection of financial crime, and operational loss prediction. And here is a brief history of the digital banking, right from 1953 to 2001. In 1953, the first bank mainframe was built by Stanford Research Institute to process checks for customers of Bank of America. From there, it progressed, see, 53 and 2020, the Facebook launched a Facebook Bank offering, this is it, non-banking organizations are there. 2021, Amazon launched a checking account. So this is the progress. This is the digitalization what is taking place. Now, digital transformation in the UAE banking sector. So since I'm from UAE, let me go into a brief of what is happening here. UAE banks are in the forefront of digitalization of banking industry in the Middle East region. UAE banks are realizing the challenges and opportunities of financial technology revolution that began sweeping across the industry in the second half of the previous decade, prompting a number of banks to launch digital banking initiatives, ranging from separate digital-only banking platform to strengthening of existing mobile banking platforms, rationalizing branch-based services, refocusing staff on value-added services rather than repetitive and less profitable branch operations. The emergence of fintech that seeks to improve and automate the delivery and use of financial services pose an existential threat to the brick and mortar model of banking. As new generation technology companies began to deliver these services on secure digital platform at lower cost, leading UAE banks such as Emirates NBD, Mashreq Bank, Commercial Bank of Dubai were the first among the few who committed large resources for digital transformation of their banking models. And they took the plug to offer digital-only banks in the UAE, starting way back in 2016. Emirates NBD. They launched in 2017 in line with UAE, the Emirates NBD's lip. And it was in par with the objective of the country, creating a smart, innovative driven economy. And it continues to be the fastest growing retail bank in UAE. They currently have more than 500,000 customers. And Liv offers a wide range of millennial friendly products and services to customers, including transactional and goal-based savings account, a customized digital credit card, insurance, the Liv, prime premium subscription programs, as well as Liv Young Banking Solution for kids, which have helped it gain strong customer advocacy and acceptance. Most digital banks have very advanced security features. For example, the LIV uses multi-factor authentication, biometrics, and various cybersecurity protocols that leverage Emirates NBD's robust infrastructure, providing customers with a safe and secure banking platform. Then the second is a Mashreq Bank. Mashreq Bank has been one of the first banks in the region to opt for complete digitalization. Looking back, the bank has come a long way in digital transformation from the brick and mortar model to a predominantly digital model. In the last 12 months, the customer response to Neo, both in terms of digital acquisition and digital engagement, has been tremendous. The Neo customer base has grown by over 60% in the last 12 months, with 100% of all Neo customers are acquired digitally. Of this, 95% are acquired via the Neo mobile app. The huge cost benefit of digitalized services combined with wider and cheaper market access prompted most UAE banks to embrace digital transformation, leading to rapid rationalization of their branch network and redeploying of staff to other productive tasks. High internet penetration and high level of digital literacy has helped UAE banks to adopt digital transformation and many to launch digital banking services. Excuse me 1 minute. So in short, technological advancements and digital offer and digitalization offer banks a valuable opportunity for the enhancement of their profitability, productivity, and financial health. Through integrated operations and strategic partnership, banks can create new revenue streams. The evident rise in bank operational costs have been and will continue to be moderated through the utilization of various digital functions. Introducing digital advancement risk mitigation functions establishes increased accuracy, efficiency, and improvement of banks' operational losses.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Participants, if you have any questions to post, you can jot down your questions in the chat. As well, students who are here offline, you can ask your questions. Participants, you're requested to unmute yourself and then speak.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Sir, thank you for that lecture, sir. So
Yes.
I would just, I don't know, I will just share my thoughts. So actually, this digitalization, I don't know whether it has really yielded in customer satisfaction, because so many problems we face in the banking industry, sir. Like when my ATM card was asked to be surrendered, then I had to pay the debit card charges continuously for 3 years for 2 cards. One card was surrendered to the bank, and then every time I give letter and every time I do this, they say, ma'am, it's all centralized, we are sending a mail, we are sending a mail, we are sending a mail. Nearly like 6 times biannual charges, 3 years at a row I had to pay. I don't know, but the amount is quite low. It's like 150 or something only. But even then, I'm just thinking, I don't know in what way it has added to customer satisfaction, or there are still problems existing, sir.
So that is true. What you are telling is very right. Initially, we have these problems. And if I refer you back to what is happening now, right now I am in UAE, so I'll be able to share the experience. So what happened here, as we know, the place is small. So though we have a large number of banks, and these banks compete each other. Now what's happening, these kind of things do happen here also. But the easy way out is we follow up with them. So here also, nowadays you go to the branches, they don't do any customer service, everything is centralized. They would prefer us to do it online. So if you're doing it online, all these are going to be zero cost. Whereas if you walk into the branches for any transaction, they'll be charging you fees. Even to cash a check, they'll be charging you a cost. Again, as far as your credit card, other things are concerned, that is happening here also. Now, what is happening is those smart customers, what they do is they will be somehow linking. Now, suppose we are the Gulf News, which is a national newspaper here. What will happen? They have a special column for this, grievances. So what will happen is the customers, those who are smart, they will pull in this news media. So when they're sending a query of this sort, or they have any grievances like this, they'll be sharing it with for example, Gulf News. What will happen is they'll pick up the phone and do the follow-up with the bankers. Suddenly, within no time, within 24 hours, the problems get resolved. So what happens is, in your case, as you said, 3 years you have to pay. Either you'll have to keep on following up, or you'll have to. Now, social media, all these things are very popular, and they're doing their trick. So we can resort to any of them and pull them in, and solution would be faster. It is not there are no solutions, but the only thing is the people are lazy to do those things for us. So that is what, because now the attitude, the workforce culture in our country, in India, has to change. The bankers should see the customers as their own, and they should be extending to help them out of the way. So they'll have to walk an extra mile to do that. That is what happened. And initially, in the start, all these kinds of hitches will be there, and gradually in the long run, all this will be sorted out. I think that is what is happening. I think in India, most of the non-nationalized banks, the private sector banks, they are more efficient and they resolve all these things fast. Am I right?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So I have a question, like ma'am had a question on centralization. I have a question on decentralization, sir.
Yes.
Without knowing or unknowingly, we are traveling into a decentralized world because of this cryptocurrencies and other things. What is your opinion on this, sir? Like we all are moving towards this decentralization. We don't have a centralized platform for crypto. And though the government has laid 30% tax on crypto, but still there are people who are investing. So I just want to know your opinion on this decentralization platform happening in this world.
You would be mainly referring to the cryptocurrencies.
Yes,
right?
sir. And the blockchain. Blockchain is
The
something, yes, blockchain is something which is leading to a decentralized world. And we all are moving towards it. Unknowingly, we are moving towards it.
Right.
So I just like to know your opinion on this decentralization.
Now, what happens is with these things, regulators, they will be coming in because these the crypto cannot replace a cash. It's not a real asset and there is no real regulators going to protect me. So these are in the evolution. So in the long run, so long run, I don't mean very long. In the long run, all these regulators would be falling in. Now, as far as UAE is concerned, we have come out with a law to regulate those things, and they have specified these are the things how we can do the transactions. So each country will be coming together and they will be floating their own regulations, and finally we'll be having a global understanding how this is going to happen. So initially we have all these kind of problems, and gradually it might lead us to a better world. Let us hope for that.
Thank you, sir. So we
Welcome.
have few questions in the chat box. So there is a question in the chat box. Can I
Yeah.
read it for you?
Yes, I'm seeing it. So if the digital transformation is compulsory by the government, what will be the impact? Now here, what one thing I have to know is the digitalization has become a norm of the day, whether it is compulsory or not. The bankers or many of the other things, what is happening is AI, artificial intelligence, the robotics, they are able to help us. It is not telling, come on, humans, you are not needed. No, what is happening is we are getting elevated. The repetitive and other complex jobs can be assigned to these machines. And the machines will do it. So what we can do is we can concentrate on higher level strategic and decision-making roles. So way back, if we go into computerization, what happened? And that time also we had all these kinds of confusions. And now we walk into the offices, or in our bags, we have a laptop around us. Are we not employed? How many of us lost jobs? Or how many of us lost opportunities? Or did we all upgrade? Or did we all get better jobs? So that is what will be happening. So what happens is at that time, who even opposed the computerization of computers, now they use it. Internet. Now I'm sitting here, one part of the world, and you are another part of the world. What facilitates it? To participate in the conference from different parts of the world. Now the internet, the technology. So whether it's a compulsion or not, when digitalization, we feel it's beneficial, technology is helpful, all will start using that to get its benefit either today or tomorrow. Right? Then
Good morning, sir. Sir, this is Shashi Kumar from KAD College, Rajajinagar, Bangalore. Sir, I have a doubt, a question regarding the comparison of two different banks. I need not to mention those banks' name, but I can mention that one is nationalized bank and another one is foreign private bank. Here, I can give a comparison between the PhonePe, Google Pay, and online banking system by using debit card. In a nationalized bank, if any mistransaction has been happened, example, the amount has been transferred from one account to another account, unexpectedly and unfortunately by mistake, Further, by using the debit card and credit card with the same branch, if we visit the branch, that can be taken as a complaint and that can be rectified and also should be refunded within 3 days, 3 working days. And that facility is provided by the bank itself. And the same thing which has happened in the same nationalized bank by using the PhonePe or Google Pay, it cannot be rectified and it can be handed over to the crime branch, cyber crime branch, and it cannot be rectified and it cannot be reclaimed also. So what's your opinion on this, sir? So this can be got soluted where the people has been fraudulent activities most probably by the hackers. Sometimes most probably it will be happening in the PhonePe or Google Pay, and it must be rectified. That should be refunded, but it is not under process. This is with the nationalized bank. And when it comes to the private, foreign private bank, actually I have paid just 3 months ago one of my faculty's credit card bill payment to my PhonePe. And that day onwards, every month, it is not my account. Just I have cleared his payment only for first time. And I am getting regular bill due instead of his account to my account. This is the thing which is actually going on. So this can be stopped.
Sorry, this I see one person standing there and I'm not able to hear anything.
Can I repeat the same? Sir, can I repeat the same?
Doctor, what is happening?
Sir, sorry for the interruption. We have the participants with the questions here with us.
Right, now I can hear.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Sir, good morning, sir. Can you hear me now?
Good morning, I can go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I'll repeat my question again, sir.
Please.
Yes, sir. Sir, this is Shashi Kumar from KLE College, Bangalore. I have a question with a comparison of 2 different banks. First, I can clarify with one bank, then I can go with another one.
Right.
So now it is a nationalized bank. I no need to mention the bank name.
No.
Where actually in the online transaction, I'm going to make comparison with the Google Pay, PhonePe, and also with the debit card transaction for the purchase of or making online payments. In a nationalized bank, if any misappropriation of funds by mistake, if it is happened, we can directly get into the contact of the branch itself. Otherwise, there is a system called online customer care service regarding the SBI, any of the bank, nationalized bank. Regarding that, if any by mistake funds has been transferred from one account to another account, they can find a complaint and that can be refunded within 3 working days. Where it has happened only by using debit card or credit card of the same nationalized bank. If the same funds has been misused by using the PhonePe or Google Pay, they cannot make a complaint also. And also they can just transfer this to the customer care of the PhonePe or Google Pay. And they are not handling such cases. They are simply transferring it to cybercrime and it cannot be refunded. This is a major issue, sir.
Now the call is yours,
Yes, sir.
whether to go with the nationalized banks or with the Google Play after knowing this.
No, here when it is Google Pay or PhonePe, all are digital banking systems. We are
Right?
simply deducting the money from our bank only. That is
Yes.
our money, that what we have deposited in that bank.
Yes.
But when the payment has been deducted by using the same bank's debit card or credit card, they can refund it. But
Right.
same thing has been happened between the PhonePe or Google Pay, they cannot refund it and they cannot take the complaint as well. They can simply say that it's a PhonePe's mistake or Google Pay's mistake. But the money is going to be deducted only from that bank.
Yes. And the money is going from your account in both the cases, right? Now, in the first case, it's a bank, the money is going from your account to another account or another seller through the banker,
Yes.
not through any other platform, right?
Yes, sir.
Whereas when this Google Play, the third party comes in, the money gets transferred from your banker to another person. So a third party is getting involved. Whereas in the first case, you were referring to SBI, if I am not wrong. So the money gets transferred through their channel and they have the whole responsibility on their shoulders to see that your money reaches the right person, or if it has gone by mistake, they reimburse it. Right?
Yes, they can reimburse it.
Yes, it is because it is in their channel. It has not gone out of their channel. Whereas when it comes to the other third party, the money gets out of their channel. Then there comes a legality. Who is responsible? You,
Yes, sir.
the
I have a
banker,
question.
or the third party?
Yes, sir. I have a question on the same.
Yeah,
The banker is allowed to the third party
yeah.
only to deduct the money, but not to refund it when the mistake has been happened.
Now, when you started using this service, did you read the terms and conditions, which are always in a small print? What are they saying? Many of us don't do that. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So all these conditions they put, the conditions at the end, and most of us tend to believe everything is right because other man is doing, my friend is doing, so he would have read it. So on that belief, we go ahead. So
Sir,
in the financial thing, that is a very important thing. In most of the cases, they have a disclaimer at the end put there. That is where we are caught.
Sir, in the terms and conditions, it is clearly mentioned that if by mistake any has been happened, that can be refunded within 3 working days.
Yes.
But it is not.
And when it is within the same channel, they are doing it within 3 days,
No,
right?
it's the same channel, it can be refunded within 48 hours.
And then they're
Yeah,
doing
that's
it within 3 days. Okay, done.
Yes.
That's a 1 more day, let's go. The other one is not taking place. The only thing is we'll have to do the follow-up. And they say, put it to the cyber cell. And what was the result after that? You experienced it.
Sir, the cyber cell cannot take it as a, it is just saying that it's a cyber crime, we can't do anything. So don't do it next time.
We lost
They are
it.
ignoring this.
So I am not competent to comment on that. You would be a better person because you experienced it. Now we'll have to be cautious.
Through this conference, I'm having a request to this conference that they should be reform the new idea regarding to safeguard this kind of mistakes and to safeguard the investors, those who are willing to do online payments by using the PhonePe or Google Pay.
Yes, right. I agree with you. That should be there. that should be given due weightage and should be addressed, and the regulators will have to take into account, because for you and me, the little money lost is something great, whereas for the regulators or the big banks, it is nothing. So there should be until something concrete or a clear-cut procedures are there, then this burden should be shouldered by the banks, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I am Arun from 3rd BCom BA Trichy Bishop College. I'm having question that digitalization is positive view, but where there is positive, there is a view for negative also. Few people are scaring about hacking. What is your opinion about hacking? Because when the digitalization is growing, in the same time hacking also, there is some problem, and few are facing the problem about hacking. So what is your opinion on that?
Now here, as far as these kind of problems are concerned, anything new comes, there is a problem. Okay. And earlier, what was happening is the robbery was there, theft was there. Who was doing it? So the person, the thief, the poor thief, he has to physically put his effort and come and rob you. Now this has become a professional thing. Right? So we have given a professionalized cover to these things. So it has to be regulated, and now it comes back. And now it is impossible in the current trend where we are going in. We all will have to become ethical. Okay. The disclaimer is that is impossible today, isn't it? So that is where it comes. So the value. Each one of us should have our value, and we shouldn't be greedy to have things belonging to others. If you can think of or dream of a world of that sort, all these things will not happen. And as you said, technology has given a chance for the professionals to come in and do the crime, and without much. So now those brains which are being used in the wrong way, they associate together, and they have cartels, and they join together, and they are going in for a day robbery. They need not wait for the darkness as the old thieves had to do. So this is what is happening. Day robbery, I agree with you, that is there. And that is going to be there. And what is happening is all regulators are trying to bring out measures to reduce it and control it. And we know, maybe you are probably belonging to the commerce stream, and we have been seeing about so many financial crimes taking place. And when financial crimes are taking place, we come out with, or the global organizations or the well-advanced countries come out with laws. Are they stopping it? Or are we becoming innovative with our crimes? New ways we are finding out. So that's a skill we are developing, isn't it? That is what is happening. And we had been experiencing living with that. Okay. This also will have to, and we'll have to be very careful. Whatever precautions we can take, we have to take to not to fall into the trap. That's the only thing. We cannot zero it right now.
Sir, good morning, sir. I'm Shruti. Am I audible?
Good morning, Shruti.
Sir, my question is, if I give a 10 rupee coin instead of 10 rupee note, people are hesitating to get it. But if I exchange cryptocurrency, they don't hesitate, though it is decentralized. Do you think it is just because they are digital and not manual?
No, it depends upon to whom you are giving. Do you give a cryptocurrency to a farmer?
No.
No. So he would prefer to get your coin than even the note. It's our mindset, that's it. And to whom we are giving it. The cryptos are in our world. in the world of educated people, isn't it? So it varies from people to people. Now we go to the villages or to the illiterate people, talk about cryptocurrency, they don't understand what it is. You would have offered it to someone of that sort. The next time when you offer cryptos, be careful, okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
So we also have a question in the chat box.
Good morning, sir. I'm Jason of First MCOM, Bishop Heber College. I have a question to ask you. Is digital transformation of banking and finance, what role does it play in a country like ours where rural population is of a higher extent? So is it actually effective to its true consent, where the population is mostly rural and illiterate people? So what is your take on this?
So what happens is we have a large number of people who are illiterate, who are in the rural area. That doesn't mean we shouldn't digitalize. So both has to go in part. Digitalization. So we cannot tell, come on, we are not going to digitalize. Then what happens? The whole globe is getting digitalized. We would be left out. We have to be in par with the global developments. We have to digitalize, and the regulators, the governments will have to take measures to bring up the people out of literacy, and the facilities should be there in villages where they can access it. And again, when we talk about the rural areas of villages, again, it differs from state to state. I'm from Kerala state. And when I go to the most remotest of the remote place, there all these things are there. So now what happens? Each and every part of our country has to develop. The literacy has to be wiped out. All these benefits, whether it's digital or non-digital, will have to reach them. Then alone we can come on India is developed. So both has to go hand in hand. Digitalization in one, and the upliftment of the poor and the illiterate in the other. Or more weightage should be given for the upliftment of the poor people and the illiterate people. They should be brought in the mainstream. So both has to be balanced. We should go for a balanced approach of developing both, in my view. Right?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Sir, there's one question in the chat box. I'll read it for you. It is from Steve from Bishop Heber College. The question is, what will Bitcoin do to the banks like email did for postal services? And what do you think about it? Will it be a good future?
At this point of time, I don't feel I'm competent to comment on that, because Bitcoin as such is totally uncertain. And in different platforms, we give different comments. So in this giving you the keynote, I think it's better to avoid that question. Let me not answer that.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions from the participants?
Thank you, sir, for sharing your inputs about digital transformation in the banking sector.
Thank you.
We are happy to have you with us today, sir. Thank you so much.
So thank you. It was a privilege being with you for some time. And I should extend my thanks to Dr. Rajesh, who had been the instrument in getting me or pulling me into this. So wishing you all the best and wishing that you have a successful conference. So all the best. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Can I leave?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank
All
you
the
so
best.
much, sir.
Bye.
For presenting the paper in the technical session, which will be put up in the board outside the hall. So now we will break for lunch, which will be served for the faculty and the participants at the open air stage from 12 p.m. We will resume back at 12:30 p.m. Sorry, 1:30. Kindly be here by 1:30 sharp. Thank you.
For your venue, which will be presented in the board, which will be put up outside this hall. At 1:30, kindly all of you assemble at the different venues which is allotted for you. Thank you.